Welcome to episode 32 of the Danso Pitch podcast. I'm your host, Charles Danso, joined by my good friends, Daniel and Ramy. Gentlemen, how you guys doing today?
Feeling amazing, ready to do this thing. Welcome back. I feel like it's been a little while, so jazzed up and bundled up right now because I just dug through like 8 inches. What did we get? Like 6 to 8 inches over here?
Yeah, that crazy. Snow was intense. Did a whole workout out there, man. But I'm good, man. You know, just happy to be like healthy and super blessed. It's the end of the year. We made it through 2020, y'all.
Yeah, I think that's like the biggest thing for me. Definitely was just being able to make it through the year. We went through so much as a society, dealing with COVID, dealing with government people, dealing with just so many different things. So it was like for us to actually see snow, some remnants of snow, actually reminding us that yes, Christmas is around the corner. It's definitely something that to look forward to, even though for adults it sucks because we got to go shovel, but the kids love it. So obviously, that's always a plus. So, and just leading into the topic, leading to episode 32 is what we want to discuss. We're talking about the holidays. So a lot of times, what does holidays usually entail? Christmas shopping. And what does Christmas shopping usually entail from a financial standpoint? Spending a lot of money on gifts, expenses. A lot of people put themselves in debt. A lot of people spend all their money in one setting and wait for the bonus or wait for some miracle to happen when that could be avoided. So I think for us, we just want to present different strategies, where we can kind of just discuss with the audience, kind of lay out different ways to invest your money as a gift, different ways to get rewards for your gifts, and gifts that could be investments. Other for parents, that could be your children. For other people, it could be family members, significant others. We're gonna go through all of these.
Yep, but the gift that keeps on giving, as they would say, with an investment gift.
Exactly. And I first want to start it by asking you guys, Ramy and Daniel, did you guys actually have planned to shop? Don't speak all at once.
No, could you ask that again? You actually got a little choppy there.
Oh, so okay, sorry. Yeah, I was saying that. Did you guys actually do your Christmas shopping yet or no?
It's funny. I actually just did a little bit of it on
really?
Amazon. I had my list and it's been sitting there for a week. And today was the day I said, you know what? Because I saw something on I was reading about like the UPS and like postal services getting backed up. So I said, oh no, I got to get these gifts out. So I just did like half of it, but I still have a whole nother like list to go through. So
yeah, I wasn't planning to expose myself like this, but yes, I haven't done any shopping yet, and I'm usually in the mindset I do this too. Like if I don't get it on Black Friday or Cyber Monday, I go like last second and buy everything. So I don't know how that's gonna work this year, but I'm gonna get real creative. But I know I do have expenses that are coming up because I'm gonna buy stuff regardless.
Yeah, and I think with me, I finished my Christmas shopping, thank God. I was able to get that completed. I just have one more person, but I'm just going to get a gift card for that person. I'm going to actually get a stock gift. I will get more in details into that, but
we have the levels here. We have fully finished prepared shopper, the last second shopper, and the 50-50 shopper.
Exactly. Yeah. And I wanted to ask that because I felt like that was something where we could kind of segue into to ask that usually when you guys do shop, do you guys usually stick to a budget or do you guys just go and shop without really looking at what you're spending, so to speak?
I usually set a budget. Like I have in my mind the cap of what I'm going to spend, and then I try to it's like there's a buffer. So like I have like a maximum I would like to spend, and then I have an absolute maximum. Like there's no way I'm going above that. So I give myself that little buffer, because you just never know how expensive things could be.
I agree.
So that's how I like to operate. And right now I would say I'm pretty well within the budget. But sometimes you can't get a little overzealous with shopping. So
Yeah.
but yes, a budget, I definitely like. It's very helpful. I do it every year, because you could definitely get carried away with the holiday season.
I agree. What about you, Ramy?
I personally do shop without much of a cap in mind. If anything, I go on like a per item basis. I try to get the items I'm looking for at a good value or on discount or on sales primarily. But then after that, I'm not usually, because I rarely retail shop, like rarely throughout the year. I'm not much of a shopper. So when it comes down to the holidays, I feel like being free with my spending, but I usually keep it, within reason. But I feel like hearing Daniel, I'm like, that is a good method, because I could fall
It helps. Yeah, it definitely helps, just because sometimes you'll even see something, you go into the store, you shop online, and you like have an idea of what you're gonna get, and then out of nowhere you see something like, hey, this is on sale, and it's like, well, maybe I should get this in addition to this present, so that's why like I create that buffer, so it's it's like in case I decide to like do some ad hoc shopping, I'm not going over a budget, I'm not like killing the bank.
Yeah, I mean, for me, for the audience, I would recommend, the reason why I did kind of just ask these gentlemen as to how they shop and if they create a budget, because I think it's essential for the audience listening in. Myself, I had to learn that. So this year, I did actually stick to a budget, and I avoided last minute shopping. I think that's important for the audience. The reason being is usually when you do last minute shopping, you kind of just scramble through the malls. You feel like you just need to get any type of gift for mom, dad, sister, brother, girlfriend, whoever, boyfriend for women. So the thing is like, it's really just understanding that if you are going to the store to get a certain gift, if you see what the price is, that's what you get. A lot of us have large families, and I think a lot of times we forget that we still have bills we have to pay. Unfortunately, PSE&G, your T-Mobile, Sprint, Verizon, whoever your phone service is, et cetera, they don't give you a free month off. They still expect you to pay your bills at a certain time. If you own a home, obviously so many other bills go into it. If you have a car, different things you have to pay for. So I think it's important for the audience listening in that it's okay to, and we stressed this before, where we say it's okay to say no, but we can never stress it enough, because the thing is, you don't always have to make everybody happy. Happiness is in various formats. It's not just through a gift. Other things that you can do is, again, you stick to a certain budget. You know the certain people that you're purchasing certain gifts for, and you understand that it's not hindering your bank account in any way if you are purchasing these certain gifts for these type of people. Because another thing you have to understand, the alternative is, and gentlemen, come in as you feel free, is a lot of times we see a lot of sales through these stores. So we automatically assume that because everything's on sale, we can get multiple items of this thing. But what we forget is usually in sales, you tend to buy more. There's a reason why holiday shopping, things usually go on sale, because when things are on sale, usually you buy more. So you end up even spending more than you would on the original price. Gentlemen, your thoughts on that?
It always get me personally, and I could see the value of it with the sales, the buy two get one free. Or one time I left a store going in to get a candle for somebody. I ended up leaving with a 6-pack of candles. So there's plenty of clever marketing teams designed out there to get our money, and they're on high watch during this season when people are all out there trying to shop. So it's very easy to get caught up in the mix or taken advantage of by like clever marketing and good positioning of items. So I definitely would. I like what you brought up, Charles, about when you do online shopping and you did it ahead of time, like research and comparisons are like a click away versus like, I know I personally, if I'm walking into Macy's and then I'm like, I'm going to go check, Bloomingdale's, or I'm going to go check the next place. To walk from place to place, I'm going to lose interest by the second store, and I'll just buy whatever's in front of my face. Correct. So that's a good strategy to be extra prepared in this modern day and age, I would say.
And I think, and gentlemen, you could share your thoughts on this. I think, especially this year, shopping, getting Christmas gifts, I feel like there's a different energy involved with it this time around, just because of how rough this year has been. I feel like there's going to be a lot more shopping based off emotion, the feeling of feeling good, because we want to give to our loved ones, whatever the reason may be, because of how tough this year has been. So I feel like that also will play a factor in, like, how we shop and how much money we spend, because if you're fortunate enough to still be employed and still have decent money coming in, you may feel obligated, or you may feel a sense to buy more than you usually would this year around, just because of that emotional factor. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think for me, I half agree, half disagree. The part that I do agree is the emotional component behind it, because like you said, I think with everything that we've dealt with this year, I think people will be more privy to want to buy gifts to cheer people up. I personally know people that have lost parents this year to COVID. I know people that have lost their friends to COVID. I know so many people that have been out of jobs, people even that I work with that have lost jobs. So I think for us, we can all say we're blessed to still be employed, but a lot of people weren't as fortunate. So I think the emotional factor plays an effect in there. But I think also with COVID, that has allowed us to see a different perspective as to how we actually spend, because of the fact that we were limited to go to certain places. We couldn't do the regular vacations that a lot of us do because of the fact we had to be in the house. If we wanted to go eat, we had to be back home at a certain time because a lot of things closed. So we weren't going out after to get drinks with friends or whatever the case is. And even if we did, we could just go there and come back. So we really had to look at our finances. And I think a lot of people, even I had this discussion with a few people, they're like, damn, like, I didn't realize I was spending this much regularly going back and forth to work through public transportation or doing this thing and that. And they're like, wow, that's a lot of money I was spending. Even myself, I was saying the same thing. I was like, wow, like, I didn't realize I spent like close to almost like $400 or $500 just a month alone, just on tickets back into the city, back and forth, and so many other various things, just even getting lunch. Remember, lunch in the city's like almost like $20, and that, you're lucky even if you that's just for food. Imagine getting a drink. So like there's so many factors that come into effect. So I think COVID has shown us how to be a little bit more cognizant, but at the same time, I think it's a lot tougher for people, because the thing is, if you haven't done something before, it's a lot hard to kind of get right into it. You have to really practice it over time before you get good or get in the habit of doing it. Ramy, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I think everybody's on different stages here. Some people are saving money during COVID because, as you said, I'm saving money on transporting into the city, not buying lunch, gas, all these things. But others on the other side might have lost their job completely and are actually at a loss of funds at this time. So I think it's and then I think Daniel's, I definitely agree. If I'm buying gifts, or like I'm going in with a different mentality, like a more of a giving mentality during this time than usual. So I think it's a perfect storm to get, overly stimulated to spend, and it really could change the dynamic of the rest of the year if I don't manage it properly from now. But I personally have more funds and am ready to like give more than usual. But what are some strategies that I can use, or like methods to come out on top during the season? That's what I'm here to figure out with you guys.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Daniel. You gonna say something?
To go off of that, I think that's like just a perfect segue into what we were talking about earlier, Charles, with how you set yourself up to buy. You whether it is a budget or whether it's understanding what funds you have and anticipating what is going to accrue in the next month, because let's say you decide to use a credit card for your holiday shopping. The good rule of thumb is to ensure that you have the cash on hand, or you're expecting that cash to come in order to pay that, in order to pay your credit card off. So like in
Yeah.
lieu of what Ramy is saying about, feeling that you're going to, spend more or buy more gifts than usual this year, credit cards is an option that may be very favored just because of that emotional impulse to do so.
If for the audience, if you are going to use your credit card, I always recommend don't use a credit card when you shop, just because of the fact that the emotional factor that comes into Christmas shopping. It usually always makes you go over the budget, and every time you say, "Oh, I could give Daniel example like an extra $10 gift for this thing," and it ends up always going to $20 and then $30. So I always try to stay away from credit card usage. I myself, I use my debit card this time around, and the thing is, I also, the most important thing, there's two things. The most important thing is, first, pay your bills and pay yourself. What I mean to say is that put money into your savings, put money into your investments, and then you pay your bills first. You should not be paying gifts if you know that you have your bill due the following week, or you have the same, or some people will buy gifts and have a bill due the same week when you know that you probably shouldn't, because it's probably going to cut your budget a little thin. So the thing is, it's important to make sure you pay yourself first and pay your bills most importantly. But to Daniel's point, if you are going to use a credit card, yes, the most important factor is make sure you have the money right away to pay it off. You don't want to prolong it or delay it, because at the end of the day, remember, credit cards have interest on it, and with interest charges, they add additional fees on top of what you have to pay as the minimum balance. And you never pay the minimum balance; you always pay more. The next point is you look for cashback deals. Some credit cards give you cash back. I don't know off the top of my head. Maybe you guys do, in terms of some credit cards that Discover. Okay, there you go.
Bank of America. A couple of them.
American Express gives points.
Yeah, so I think that's just something for the audience to look into, because at the end of the day, that also helps you down the road as to, if you're going to use your credit card for some maybe expense, like, again, a gift or whatever the case is, you can utilize that. Also, you look at stores that have coupons. Go online. A lot of stores give coupons for a lot of gifts. Now, again, if you're going to buy a Coach bag or something, I don't think a coupon is going to help you much. But if you're going to buy a toy or something for your child, maybe instead of paying, or some clothing, instead of paying $24.99, usually they give you 50% off. Macy's does it religiously, like every other week, not even Christmas.
And so you can also do the quick research online, like before you go. Nowadays, everything's online. You could look up, Marshall's coupons, or whatever store you're going to could have a promo code online that you could then use, and that takes 90 seconds out of your day to do the search before you go out and shop.
Yeah, I think the most important factor, as Ramy just articulated, and also Daniel, is, again, cash back. If you're going to use credit cards, just go online. If you can go on social media, I'm sure you have at least 90 seconds, as he mentioned, just to go and look at a coupon at maybe like he said, a Home Goods, wherever the case you're going to shop, Macy's, and just pull that. So when you go to the store, it's already ready in hand. So,
and just a little like nugget I want to drop here. For those of you who have credit cards, and this is just my personal opinion, there could be opposed thoughts, but I believe that having a credit card, you should limit how many credit cards you have. Personally, I feel like more than 2 or 3 is a lot, and it shouldn't go beyond that, because dispersing the amount of expenses that you have with these credit cards, it's just better to have it all in one place. So, and especially around this time, there's a lot of these retail stores like Macy's, Best Buy, and things like that will get you with the credit card deals. They'll say, hey, you can save this by signing up to buy this credit card, and then you'll get all these savings, and it looks good on paper, and but in the long term, it's just really not the best move. In my personal opinion. So if you fit that criteria, my advice for that is just don't really fall into that, because if you're going to use a credit card, it's better to use a card that's very diverse in points, whether it's cash back or whether it's, points that could be allocated to, if you like travel rewards,
Or
things
gas.
like that, or gas. Don't limit yourself to one specific brand.
Yeah.
As like a Macy's, unless you really love Macy's. But even then, I feel like personally, you should just have a card that's very diverse, that pays you first, as Charles mentioned earlier.
Yeah, unless you're going to that place religiously or like gonna use that to your full advantage, there's definitely cards out there that are more multifaceted, as Daniel said. And I think because of misconception, like people hear like having multiple lines of credit is a way to boost your credit, right? But it's not just a matter of having them. It's a matter of like cultivating those lines of credit, paying them off, spending on each of them and paying them off. Like that'll boost your credit. But just having them, and like if you have like 3 or 4 unused lines of credit, it might actually work to your detriment on your credit score. So don't sign yourself up for multiple credit cards that you're not going to use, as Daniel said. I like to use that like 2 or 3 seems like a lot already, but like you can do with that. Anything more, you're setting yourself up for, not success.
Yeah, and a quick point is also a way to know that is if you do go to I guess Credit Karma and those websites. Usually, what Ramy just mentioned is usually looking at a place that says hard inquiry, that allows you to see how many credit cards. So usually anything red or yellow is always bad. Green is always good, and usually that is like the 1 to 2 card requirement max for a credit card. And payment history is pretty much a big portion of your credit card credit boost, from your credit card payment. So important. If you miss even one payment, it can fuck up your credit score really big. I know a lot of people, personal people, I myself have missed a payment one time and my credit score dropped like 25. Even one time it dropped 50 when I missed just one payment. That's how crazy a payment history is. So that's why if you are going to utilize your credit card, make sure you have the money to pay it off right away. Do not wait. Trust me. Do not think because, you got your paycheck the following week and you just missed a week, it's going to be okay. No, it's not. As soon as you miss that day that is due, you're fucked. So, so I want to also transition this now to children, kids. Kids love Christmas. Oh my Lord. Every time I'm on a meeting for my work, my job, my manager's kids running around talking about Santa Claus, something I hear in the background. If it's not my nieces and nephews calling me, my brothers calling me, sisters calling me for gifts. Children just love it. I don't know what it is. We were children one time and we loved Santa Claus. We still do, but we know we're Santa now, so it's not as enjoyable.
Got my Santa hat in the closet.
We're all Santa Claus if we got a wallet.
Exactly. So for parents, for guardians, for siblings, whatever the case is, if you know someone that's younger, there's ways you can use Christmas as an investment for a younger individual, a child. For parents, one way I would recommend is a custodial IRA account. Let's say if you invest anywhere from $500 to $1,000 every Christmas, let's say the child is like 5 years old. As a parent, by the time that person is 20, that about close to $15,000 to $20,000, you can actually utilize that money to purchase a home for your child. So think about the benefit of that, as opposed to, yes, toys are great, PS5s are great, Xboxes are great, but what's even better is getting a child out the house once they're 18. So I think a benefit for any parent listening, is look it up, custodial account for your child. You can look it up through any of these brokers, Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade. Robinhood facing the SEC thing right now, but Robinhood too wants to get out of that. Parents, you can look at it, check it out. That's one benefit. Daniel, what do you think about gift stocks? Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think especially when your child is coming up in age, at any age really, gift stocks are, you can set up a custodial account, or you can set up different investment accounts for your children to have a stock of Sony, a stock of Apple. I know, like, I have siblings. My brother loves playing the PlayStation. I bought him a stock of Sony. I mean, it's one of those things, like, if it's something that they enjoy, and if it's an activity that you see that they, if they're into sports, get them a stock that facilitates that arena, or if they're into fashion, get them a stock that facilitates that arena. Like, I think, not just gifting them a stock that, will help them have a portfolio in the future, but gifting them a stock that is actually, like, meaningful, because it's a part of them. Like, they actually like, the company, because they use the brand. So I think that also is, like, it's a gift on top of a gift. And I think Ramy has an interesting story too about gift stocks. I remember from last year, if he wants to share.
Exactly. that was coming to my mind already. But gift stocks are a great idea, but what you said was a really nice touch, Daniel, about making it a meaningful stock. Because think about that. If you're gifting this to someone who's never invested or doesn't even know what it is, if you gift them something that they love and they check on that one stock like 2 or 3 times a year, they'll learn a pattern, or they'll see the value that stocks can give. And that could be the start of their financial journey of investing and taking it on for themselves. But I wouldn't do that if I had some random, like, healthcare stock that, doesn't have any emotional value for me. But, like, I had Disney stock gifted to me as a child by my mom. And I did check on it when I was younger a couple times. I didn't know what it means. But now, as I'm older, it has so much more value to me. So I could see us gifting a stock not only for financial gains, but also for opening a door to the realm of investing, which I always preach should start at the earliest age possible. I'm complete.
Yeah. So, I mean, and for the parents, for any older individual, if you have a younger sibling, whatever the situation is, what we're practicing is habits for the child. You just want the child to have habits. So as they get older, they understand the value of investing money, the value of doubling, quadrupling the money that you're putting into. It doesn't even have to be the stock market specifically, but just any type of account where they can see various income coming in, or they have income already in place that they don't have to struggle. Example, another one is a 529 account that's used for educational purposes. As a parent, as a guardian, you can put money into a 529 account. You can look it up. By the time that person is going into college, you already have 15, 20, even some people invest as much as 30,000 in that account that you can pay for that person's schooling, that child's schooling. And as we know, by the years, it gets more expensive, and jobs aren't giving out money for free. So obviously, what's a way where you can easily pay a child and not put that child in debt? Not have to them take out student loans where they'll have to pay this till they're in their 40s or 50s. It's just start now when they're 1-2 years old. So by the time they're 18, they already have that a 4-year education paid for already. They just have to go to school and do the work. And for Ramy, one thing that you mentioned is when we grew up, even as you said, having your mom have a Disney stock, we came in a technological era, but it really developed once we hit high school, once we hit middle school. That's when it really started to come into effect. Now children literally
are born with iPads.
My niece is like my niece isn't even 10 years old, and she knows more computer skills than me. So yep. So I think for a child, you can easily, even as a parent or guardian, even an older figure that's in that child's life, you can teach them this and they'll learn it quickly. They'll adapt to it. So you can say, hey, this Brittany, whatever the child's name is, this is how you go to TD Ameritrade to buy a stock. And if they see you doing it, parents, they want to learn it too, because kids always want to replicate what the older person is doing. They copy what they see.
If you're a boxer, they're going to want to box.
Exactly.
So if you're looking at trading and financials, they're going to want to learn about it.
Correct. So just to kind of piggyback off of Ramy said, is just having those habits, just teaching skill sets that your child is watching and wanting to do as well. You gentlemen, anything else you want to add to that, Daniel?
And I think like another good gift to give in terms of covering this arena of investing in your children is also giving them very good financial education books to read. I think, there's a lot of books out there that, well, to start off, this is one of my personal favorites. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's my personal favorite. The Millionaire Next Door, The Richest Man in Babylon. Those three books are like, they're kind of like the foundation, I call them, for, just understanding personal finance, understanding how to maneuver out of what would be the rat race when your children get older. And I mean, these are books, they could read. I mean, they're like level reading. They're, if your child is like very young, let's say like 6 or 7, a recent book that I came across is called King and Kyron's Generational Wealth Building Activity Book. It actually just came out, and I haven't read it yet because it like just came out, but I'm gonna get it. I bought it for my brother and sister, and it has like little coloring areas and financial topics and vocabulary sections that if your child is like, between 6 and 10, they're still like getting their developing their cognitive functions and things like that. This is the perfect book for them to like see pictures and interpret information at a very young age. And I follow the author on Instagram. They do a lot of great financial advice. So I can say that that's a really good book for your kids if they're very young. But if they're like getting into adolescence, like age 12 and up, I would say the 3 books that I mentioned are like very good books that are easy to understand.
Yeah, and I think those 3 books, I would actually not even just recommend that to children. If you're a parent, I would recommend that for yourselves to read. If you have any person that you want to buy a gift for, buy them that book, because end of the day, for you to teach somebody, you first have to understand how that works. And a lot of times, I think a lot of people sometimes give knowledge without having a full understanding themselves, and that's okay, because I've been there before where I had to go back and reassess a lot of what I was actually teaching because I wasn't applying it myself. So I think those 3 books, The Richest Man in Babylon, what was the other one, The Millionaire Next Door, as well as Rich Dad, Poor Dad, just to name a few of those books. The Intelligent Investor teaches the stock market. All those books Daniel mentioned, as well as myself, I think that's important for anybody to read and also apply what's taught in those books for your child, or teach that just for anybody, including yourself, most importantly. One thing you can teach a child that they will love is they have the game called Credit Stacker. Credit Stacker is a great game that anybody can play any age, where you'll be able to just learn how to basically knock off your credit, various ways to do it, ways you can, and the child won't even realize that they're actually learning it because they'll just think it's a regular game. You want to teach your child real estate, people will laugh, probably that's listening, but teach your child, play Monopoly with them. That's how I learned real estate, is I play Monopoly. And anybody can play that game. Yeah, it gets intense, but it's something where it teaches you how to get property. Not in that technical standpoint, but just a broad view that shows you like how buying properties, how to build your wealth through acquiring properties, how that works. So I think that's a game that you could also get for your child, or just show or play with friends. But you're teaching that just by playing that game, because those same principles apply in real life when you are actually looking to get into real estate. So that's just some examples that I wanted to utilize. Ramy, you have any thoughts on that?
No, I mean, you guys gave a lot of good books and apps. I co-sign all of them, but I don't have any clever ideas for that. Like I already said, I encourage everybody to get started in investing and learning the financials as young as possible. The way you described, like my dad used to make me read this little like paragraph summary of how the market did back in like 05, 06 when I was like 10 years old, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. But then he would quiz me on it and I would know those things. invaluable, and that's what got me started at such a young age. So I'm here co-signing everything you guys said. Definitely, if you're a parent or got younger, siblings or family members, instill that knowledge. And I like what you said, Charles. If these are useful for children and you do not have any info at all, put the ego aside and use that resource, because it would probably be a very good intro step into learning.
Yeah, I mean, and just Dan, you have any last thoughts? Sorry, before I go.
No, that you guys pretty much said it all. That is an amazing experience to go through, Ramy, to just have, because you don't really notice the value of it until you're older, So like dropping those seeds when they're younger, it's going like, and I'm sure like you have such an appreciation for your pops now. For him doing that. So like I feel like that goes a long way, in terms of planting that seed and just watching it grow.
I agree. And just the information that we've dropped today, for those that, if you've done your Christmas shopping, cool, apply it the next time you go shopping anytime, or you're spending money and you realize, there's various ways you can do it. For those that haven't done their Christmas shopping yet, hey, this is what we're here to do, is give you guys the game, give you guys the information so you can apply, just get your juices flowing, get your mind thinking, just various ways where you can save money in your pocket while still making others happy through the gift of giving, as they say, right? So, just as a last segment, what I wanted to say is, for the audience, thank you so much on behalf of Daniel, Ramy, and myself. Thank you guys for tuning in for 2020. This will be the last episode for 2020. As we enter, wow. We did 32 in the book. All right, so I have the big 3-2. So we think of it like Shaq, right? Yeah, so, like a big man. So I think it's like, what I want to say is, again, thank you guys for those that have been tuning in. Thank you. Let's continue that entering into 2021. 2021 will have a brand new outlook, but it will be the same. It will still be the Danso Pitch, but our main company, Danso Financial Group, will become Danso Equity Partners. So I think that's important to note for you guys. We will be giving out updates as we actually do this rollout, but just to let you guys know, again, is Danso Equity Partners will be the new business name for us, but the podcast is still Danso Pitch. Again, I hope you guys took the valuable knowledge that we provided today. This is for the holiday season. We love doing it during the holiday season because we know that's when people go broke, and we tired of it. We tired of us, giving the game and people not listening. So we're just gonna keep going at you guys till you guys start to understand how valuable it really is just not to spend money and put yourself in debt in that way. So there's various ways just to be smart about how you spend. That's what we do here. So again, for the Spotify people, Apple Podcasts, as well as YouTube, check us out. Right now, it's still Danso Financial Group. So please subscribe to this episode. Subscribe to our channel for more updates. And you guys have any last thoughts?
Nothing on my end. Just thank you guys. As Charles said, it's definitely been a very rough year, but hopefully you're safe, your families are safe and healthy, and we wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and take this time to really assess the year and assess what you want for 2021, because it's important to really know what you want and how fragile life can be. I think is something that we've learned this year. So going into 2021, all the blessings, and I hope that the goals that you make for this end year going into next year, that they are fruitful.
I agree.
Nice. Yeah, and let us know. Thank you for listening, and let us know if anything we say resonates with you or if it actually impacts you. That would make our days a lot better. We wish everybody happy holidays. Stay safe. Show appreciation for your families, and there's always ways to make money and come out financially on top. Listening to this podcast is one of them, but definitely appreciate your loved ones while everybody's around. And we appreciate you as our listeners. We wouldn't be here doing this if we didn't have you. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys so much again. Happy holidays, and we will see you entering 2021. This episode will be dropping probably sometime this week if you're listening. Just tune in. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Thank you. Enjoy.
Yes.
We out of here.
Thank you.